I don't think penetration is the best part of sex. Here's why. Well, actually, before I get into that, let me say there was a point in time where I did think that penetration was the best thing ever, was the best part of sex. Like, when I first started having sex and years afterwards, then yes, I thought it was like the best thing ever. I remember I found someone who like lived literally like 5 minutes down the street, and this was the first time I'd ever gotten with someone so close, and we went at it every single day for like 2-3 months. And I just remember like using this time to perfect my stroke game for my future wife. And you guys might be thinking to yourself, why wasn't she your future wife? She had a boyfriend. We met on Bumble, and she made it very clear. She made it very clear that like she had a boyfriend. She knew he was going to propose, but her mentality was like, I'm single till we're married. And she was just like, with him, the pipe is okay, the sex is decent. But once he like proposes and it gets like super serious, so she just wanted me to slut her out as much as possible before he proposed. And in 3 months' time, he proposed, or whatever the case may be. But I just remember us using each other to get better at sex, and I had perfected my stroke game. And at the end of like, before like both of us, she got engaged or whatever, and we decided to like break things off, I remember like being able to like stroke non-stop for like 2 to 5 minutes. I mean, for those of you that don't, and I don't know if you guys ever done like public speaking or wrestling or some kind of like physical sport like MMA, wrestling, BJJ, or whatever the case may be, where you're like all your muscles are involved 24/7, but like stroking 5 minutes non-stop, crazy. I remember after her and I stopped talking, I would like meet other women, and they would be like, oh my god, you just don't stop, like literally no matter what, you just don't stop. Or my favorite, they'd be like, I honestly thought I couldn't finish off penetration, and then like, but like you just keep going, and like you just hit the right spot, and then like I finish, and then you keep going, and then it happens again, and I didn't think that was possible. And I thought to myself, this right here is the best thing ever. I'm literally the best in bed. It was a huge spike in ego. And to me, that was everything, right? Because I've always been a pleaser. Making a woman finish, tongue, dope. But because all these women that I would talk to, they'd be like, it's so much harder to finish from penetration. Me making them finish all the penetration, it was just like, I really am him. Like that right there, it just ego through the roof. And then one day, where like my mindset switched and I looked at sex so differently. I had met this woman on Tinder. Now keep in mind, at the time I didn't know she had a boyfriend. In the beginning, maybe they were just in the talking phase or whatever the case may be. No, actually no, she didn't have a boyfriend. We were like hooking up, and then she was like, we gotta stop talking because I have a boyfriend. And then like, I want to say like 2 months later, she hits me up and she's like, hey, look, I'm seeing this guy, you know about him, but like the sex is awful. He hasn't like made me finish in like 3 months. I need to see you again. So she comes over, we do the deed, and it was just as amazing as I remember. It was just as amazing as I remember. I remember she was so vocal too. One of the things I really liked about her was how vocal she was. I just remember like giving her back shots, and like she was just like, oh my god, your shit's so big. And hearing that, it like turned me on even. But I digress. I made her finish a lot, like maybe like 5-6 times. And after, during aftercare, I always do like a performance review or whatever the case may be. And I can't remember the conversation like exactly, but I had insinuated that I was better in the bedroom than her boyfriend because he wasn't making her finish off of like penetration or like I don't think he was like making her finish from oral either. But I made some kind of comment of me being better, and she was just like, it's hard to tell. And in my mind, I'm like, what you mean it's hard to tell? You literally, you just literally was begging me to stop because it was painful for you to finish like that. Yeah, you wasn't doing that with your boyfriend. You told me that's never happened with what are you talking about? And she was like, yes, you're right. Like, you do have like the best stroke game ever. That's not even a question. But she was like, that's literally all you have. And I was like, what do you mean that's all I have? That's all I need. And she was like, no, like, she was like, my boyfriend showed me there's like so much more to sex than just like a stroke game. Like, she was like, with you, you're like a machine. She's like, you're like a code machine. Like, yeah, you don't stop ever. It's like I can just flip the switch on and you'll keep going and you won't stop until I need to turn it off. But like, that's it. You're like this code machine. And like, he puts me in my place and he makes me feel like I don't have like a choice. She was in the CNC. If you don't know what that is, I'll make a video about that another time. But she was like, for him, it's just so emotional and he's so kinky, and he'll tie me up like a rotisserie chicken, and like he'll flog me and he'll just spank me until I can't take it anymore. And like, he talks to me and he like degrades me and he calls me like a slut and he like makes me humiliate myself and he humiliates me. And she's like, that's just an experience in itself that I can't even explain, that like turns me on so much. And she was like, and like after everything's said and done, like once he's done, I can literally just go into the bathroom and think about it and like get myself off, make myself finish. And she's like, and that right there, that experience in itself makes me thinking about it finish hard, or whatever the case may be. She's like, I can't really fantasize about us like having sex. And she's like, it's hard to explain, but she's like, if I could take his like emotional, how he makes me feel with your physicality, it would be like, you two would be like, literally, if I could push you guys together, y'all would be the perfect partner in the bedroom. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that stuck with me for it didn't really stick with me until later. I got with another woman who literally said the same exact thing, but it wasn't nearly as much in detail because we didn't really talk much. It was just like, she come over, we do the deed, she'll go back home to her boyfriend, which you know, it's a pattern, but it is what it is. But I mean, she basically said the same thing. She was just like, you know, I got with this other guy who, you know, emotionally, mentally, he just does so much. She's like, you just got really good dick. That's it. And like, she's like, that's fun, but eventually that just like gets boring, whatever the case may be. So then, fast forward, I'm with my ex. I want to say like fast forward like maybe like a year. I'm with my ex, and she tells me she wants to role play. Right? She tells me she's always wanted to try CNC. She wants me to like pretend to like she wants to like be in a shower or something, and I come in and like, you know, I'm not going to go in detail, whatever the case may be, but just, you know, if you know what CNC is, you know what it is. She wanted me to like, you know, kidnap her, whatever the case may be. And we're like role playing this for like 20 minutes, I want to say, and like I'm talking to her, she's talking to me, and like I'm really like skeptical about all this. At first, I think this is like really cheesy. I'm like, this is corny as fuck. Like, what's going on? You know me, I know you. Obviously, like, you want this. I'm not understanding this role play scenario at all, but we do it. And just for some more context, this is very important. Like, it would take me like 10-15 minutes to get her to finish for the first time. Like, it'd be like 10-15 minutes nonstop stroking, and then she'd finally finish, and then like the rest of them would come right afterwards. It's always the hardest getting the first one out. But this time during the role play, I'm not even being dramatic. I want to say within like the first minute or two, she finished. And I was like, whoa. What is this? This has never happened before. And she ended up tapping out because her limit, she could only finish like 4 times. After she finished 4 times, that was it. She was done. So I made her finish like 4 times and like 5-6 minutes of penetration. And she was like, I need a break or whatever the case may be. And I was like, you've never finished that fast ever. And she was like, I know. I don't know what that was about. So I was like, maybe it was the role play. So we tried the role play again. Same thing happened. The same thing happened. And then I was just like, if this turns you on so much, whatever the case may be, maybe I can like explore this a little bit more. Maybe we can explore like, you know, a little bit more like role play scenarios, more foreplay stuff. And that's when I really, all my videos, you know, teaching you all about like foreplay and all the other stuff. This all comes from like just the research I've been doing, some of the books that I've been reading, some of the videos that I've looked up, and I started to find what I really enjoyed. I'm not going to go into like too much specifics, but I started to really I started to explore what I really enjoyed, and then I started getting more fascinated with like what women enjoyed. So then I would, like, after me and my ex broke up, you know, I would hang, you know, I would meet women. And for me, it wasn't even like about the sex. I got super fascinated with everything else beforehand. I got super fascinated with like the foreplay and like the power dynamics behind things, and like, you know, what turned me on, what turned them on, because the more mentally stimulated I was and the more mentally stimulated my partner was, ultimately the nastier and like freakier the sex had gotten. And then there was this one girl who like we hung out, and she was like, okay, so some background information about that. She found out that her boyfriend cheated on her, and she wanted to get her get back. And I was like, sure, why not? You bad. You some fine shit, sure, why not? And literally, it was just like she came over, I put her through the mattress, and then kicked her out. And it wasn't as fun for me like it was back in the day. Like, I was like, something is missing. And that's when I realized I loved just certain power dynamics and exploring certain power dynamics and really taking those through the max through, like, you know, foreplay and aftercare. And I couldn't just, and for me, it was no longer just being able to just put it in, make you finish, get my rocks off. Now it's just like, you know, do I say this online? Can I say this online without people? But like, there are certain scenarios that I enjoy. Like, I enjoy like when a woman tells me she wants to, like, and this is just an example, like but when a woman tells me that like she wants like to give me complete control, and then like I tell her to like get on her knees, and I like tell her to look at me, and I tell her to do these things, and we're like talking or whatever the case may be, and she's like begging, and she's telling me, she's like, please daddy, I need you inside me, please, and she's begging, and I'm like, nah, you gotta, if you, and like that right there in itself makes the experience a million times better. Like, and there's like so many, and it's like so many scenarios, so I can't even like give you guys just one, because there's like so many scenarios that I enjoy, and that, like, you know, my previous partners have enjoyed as well. But like for me, it's just like that mental thing of just like I'm trying to think of like a recent example that I've had, but my mind's drawing a blank. My mind's drawing a blank of like the the vocals and the mindset of things. Like can I say this online? I don't know if I can say this online, but like, you know, like with CNC, right? There's like certain things that are said, and there's like a certain way that you act in the bedroom that like you for like role playing that scenario really like is fun for me, and it's like fun for my partner. And then like not even just like CNC, but like the DDLG type shit as well. Excuse me, but like even like the DDLG stuff, and just like the little things, like, you know, the shift in power dynamics. I hope I'm making sense. This whole yapping thing, sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm not getting any kind of point across as well. But the point I'm making is, as I got older, as I experienced more, as I met more women with experience, it kind of like showed me that there's like such a mental and emotional aspect to it as well. Even like things like making love, right? Even like back in the day, like, yes, with like my first, like my college sweetheart, this is like the first woman that I genuinely like had sex with like on a regular basis. She liked making love, we both like making love, and like it was always just like nice, slow, gentle rhythm or whatever the case may be. But there wasn't much vocals behind it. There wasn't much foreplay. We were just young and like our first times doing it. We just couldn't wait to put it in. But like now when I'm love making, it's just like, oh my God, like me and you forever. And I'm just like, yes, this is yours. You know, I want you to finish on what's yours, mark your territory. And she's just like, oh my God, like this is the best, like I want this for the rest of my life. And I'm like, say it again, and wait for me, baby. Like that in itself, and then all that with like the eye contact, and I'm just like, no babe, look at me, I know it's a lot, but you gotta look at daddy. And she's about to finish, and like her body's like trying to, like, you know, I can't explain it, but like, you know, when it's like when you're, sometimes ladies, when y'all be about to finish, y'all get super duper stiff, and like y'all be closing your eyes, and y'all eyes rolls in the back of your head. And I'm just like, no, look at me, baby, look at me. While you finish, tell me you love me. Like all that stuff just makes it way better. It like enhances the experience by like 1,000,000%. So yeah, I don't really, for me, like I could honestly have a really good time. Like honestly, I've been in scenarios where like I've like to really establish my dominance. I've like made a woman like just sit there and watch me stroke it, and then like when I was about to finish, like make her beg for me not to waste my cum. Like it like stuff like I could do that. I would rather much prefer that than just nothing else. But like, you know what I'm saying, like taking out all the emotional, mental aspect and just the physical, I'd rather much make you watch me and beg for it than just put it in and just make you come a lot. So like for me, it's like I'm just in a different headspace where it's just like the mental and the emotional matters way more than the physical.